Yo, yo, man, you already know who it is. Read the shirt. The brains behind the burger and the Kool-Aid man over there. You ain't never seen the
What do you say?
the rainbow punch Kool-Aid like that. It's your boys, Bramigos podcast, and we always got to come to you guys with our
Oh
weekly,
yeah.
oh yeah, weekly sports episode. And today, oh, Ryan Garcia, Ryan, I gotta talk to you. Ryan, I gotta talk to you. Um, Possibly the end of how college football could be and the restructuring of it. And we also want to talk. What move do you do whenever faking out your shadow defender whenever you hooping? You know, uh, and we're gonna talk Big Three era in basketball and also make some predictions on the NBA Finals and a couple other things today with your boys. Lock in, get your drink, Bruh Amigos podcast. Let's get to it.
Bruh.
Rob, so
Yep.
I watches the pugilistic arts of boxing, and I told you Ryan Garcia looked a little bit bigger. He came in overweight. They did everything. And I told you, I said, man, Ryan looked bigger than what I'd seen him in previous fights, and he was higher up in weight. And I was like, maybe this is where he needs to be. Well, not only did we have a negative A sample, but a positive A sample, positive for performance enhancing drugs, but we had a positive B sample. Now, Ryan says that it's only supplements. Okay? Now I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, it's not supplements. What I am gonna say is, last time I checked, you know, PEDs was PEDs,
Mm. Pants dispensers.
exactly. And I'm not gonna say, for sure that Ryan is on the juice or been maintaining the juice, but I will say possibly on the juice, possibly.
The juice is loose within them.
I'm just saying. And if he is on the juice, because Bill Haney right now is calling for Ryan Garcia's head, and it is, as a father who has a son in boxing, Bill Haney is out there whenever it comes to that. He will say whatever he feels like he needs to say to just get his point across.
Is he
He,
T Morant or is he
yeah,
LeVar Ball?
he's T Moran. He ain't LeVar Ball. He ain't LeVar Ball. LeVar is in his own stratosphere of the crap that he does for his sons. Like, as much as he claims how he married a woman for the genetics. The one
Oh
genetic
yeah, he
that
did say that.
the one genetic that they didn't have is good ankles. So that's the one you failed at, Lamar. Well, Lamar, you failed there. Y'all married a woman with good genetics and stuff. Bad ankles though. Got to work on that part. But I will say this in all seriousness. I don't want him to be caught for cheating. Maybe it is a supplement. We have seen cases of supplements causing positive tests. He claims it's not a supplement. But whenever I looked at him for the fight for the Fury Usyk fight, he didn't look as big. Maybe he came down a little bit in weight. Maybe it could have been close. Maybe it could have been close. But if he is like actually cheating, there needs to be a stop to it. Okay. Because I know that we don't want. I feel like boxing is one of the sports where it's hard to say because we've been on the record saying, look, if there was performance enhancing drugs in baseball, I think it still wouldn't matter as much because of the technique and shit with with baseball. I feel like baseball is throwing it is like the art of throwing a razor 100 miles an hour to paint the plate, and then the other person hitting the razor 500 feet. Okay, it's more to it than just I'm gonna throw hard and hit hard. Because if that was the case, like I always stick by this, Jose Canseco would have hit more home runs than he did. Okay, you gotta have some skill. But I do want this to come to the light, being that it's boxing, you know, and I just want him to be honest. If it's a supplement, cool. And if it's a supplement giving him a little bit more power, go ahead and let us know, Ryan. We'd all like a little bit more pep in our stuff, just in case we got to slide somebody for the day. That's just me. But just want to touch upon that a little bit. Now, Rob, we were having this little light discussion right before we came on, started recording. College football, Rob. How do you feel as though we're at the end?
So, as you guys may have seen recently, there's been a settlement, and parts of that settlement is still up in the air. They're still going through a little bit of litigation. They're still waiting on a judge to essentially okay it. But the way that it's looking is that schools are now going to be permitted to pay their own players. So, as you've known, like with NIL, or at least the misnomer with NIL, it's like, oh man, all these players are not able to are getting paid. Like, no, they were working on commissions. So name, image, and likeness, the way NCAA used to do it was if you basically made a lick of money, period, while you're playing college sports, you lose your eligibility or you had the possibility of losing. So what they did was they were instituting that until the Supreme Court said, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all can't do that," and did it 9-0 and was like, "Nah, y'all need to run that off." And so that's where we got college football, the game back.
Mm-hmm.
How we got all these different things back in motion. But the biggest thing that a lot of people have been pushing for is that these players actually get paid for the time that they're putting in, not NIL, where it's kind of up in the air and murky, but no, actually paying players for time that they basically have given. Because as we know, not every player makes into the NFL. It's like 250 some
Yeah,
picks, or 200 some picks, or 250 plus picks. There's 130 plus college football teams. And that's only counting D1, not counting D2, D3, and any of these other leagues.
yep,
You're just talking about just D1, 130 some odd teams at least. So you know that like all these players aren't getting paid and aren't going to basically move on to a college football. And it's not like basketball where there's just another pro football league that is comparable to the NFL, or at least something that has been a long standing, where like basketball, you don't get picked up in the draft. You go to Serbia, you go to Philippines, you go to China, you
yep,
go to Spain, you go to
yep.
wherever leagues are. No, when it comes to NFL, when it comes to like professional football, you got here, you got Canada.
That's it.
That's it. So now that basically these players are going to get paid by the schools is going to be a little bit better. The reason why I'm in a little bit of pause is that even though they've been making, and this is not to make the case, this is not to save college football. College, or the NCAA for that matter. It's not essentially trying to hot the meme where it's like the bullets are getting hit by me, and I'm trying to come to bat for the schools. But I don't think they could pay these players
Nah,
like directly. Like NIL, that's coming from boosters. And granted, this money might also come from boosters. But if not all boosters can basically pay these cats what they're owed. And so when it comes to that, it gets to the point where all these schools or all these players are going to go to a school that has to pay them. What about these other lesser schools that can't? So like we were talking about before the show, like I went to Southern University, graduated from Southern University, went to LSU, commissioned out of there. Like I've seen the schools, I've seen the campuses. Southern can't pay what LSU pays.
mm-hmm.
Like they just can't. Same thing with Tulane can't pay what LSU can, Louisiana Tech, ULM, ULL, all these schools in Louisiana. And that's not to count like the other outlying schools where you're talking about like a McNeese, whatever. Like these schools can't
Southeastern, all
pay,
of these places.
bruh, like they can't pay these players the same. So what comes with that? Is there going to be a salary cap? Is there going to be some kind of measure that basically says how much you can pay a college athlete, similar to like a professional sport, like an NFL, like an NBA, where you have collective bargaining that basically comes in, and these players are actually getting paid a percentage that has already been ratified, agreed to, and everything. Is that going to be the thing that's going to come with that? Another thing that came to my mind, transfers. If these players are under contract, and say these are contractors or independent contractors, like you would see out of a professional league, because professional players aren't employees.
Hmm.
They're kind of more like contractors. They have a contract, they work for a specific time, they have specific things they can and can't do that are agreed upon within the contract itself. So like, are these 18 to 22-year-olds and more going to basically be held under that same standard? So like, when it comes to like with certain states, like here, Virginia, it's an at-will state. So I could leave a contract whenever. I could leave my employer whenever. My employer can fire me whenever. But is it going to be to where you're not at an at-will state and these players have to stick to this school for the duration of time when they're in school, which is going to be a minimum of 3 years before they could go into the league?
Yeah.
Like, what is going to be the ramifications of all these different things? Like, college football is going to about to get really fucking weird, and I think that everybody needs to get hold of that, because it's gonna be get weird in good ways, and it's gonna get weird in bad ways. The good ways I think is gonna get weird is when we talk about pensions, healthcare, and things that are aftercare for these players after they leave the field. And I'm not just talking about college football, but college basketball, baseball, like, and that's another thing. And before I get keep on my tangent, that's another thing. Some sports might be going away because they've already talked about with like Olympic sports or whatever, but they also said that, or I've seen like from ESPN, they said basically that might be a misnomer, because cutting those sports might not be as big of a benefit than just basically keeping them. But when we talk about with aftercare for these players that aren't going to get picked up, that aren't going to basically make a pro league, when it comes to them getting paid, will there be a pension? Will there be health care? Will there be something that gives, like, these players something that, like, it's not just, hey, you tore your meniscus, broke your ankle, here's here's a scholarship that you had, walk out the door. Like, is it gonna be to where they're gonna have long term like money that they could pull from for any of their health needs coming down the road, stuff that might be coming up, like you would have with Veterans Affairs? This, like I said, this is about to get really screwy, and I can't wait to see it. But about to get really, really.
Oh yeah, this is definitely about to get screwed, Rob. Because I don't see, just like you said, I don't see them being able to pay everybody. And we just were looking at it just on a D1 scale. And just on a D1 scale, I don't see people like able to keep up. Like I just don't. I don't see people able to keep up, and it's gonna be this is gonna be a slippery slope. It's gonna be a slippery slope because now I think all of the powerhouse schools, if they don't do this correct, you're gonna have the best of the best fighting at the best of the best against the best of the best, and the little man is gonna be left out. The little man won't have a shot in the race. He won't have a puncher's chance. He won't have any of that. He's gonna be assed out, and like we used the example, excuse me, LSU. LSU's the powerhouse in this state of Louisiana. LSU has the biggest dog in the fight, no matter whether they have other branches of it like LSUE and UL and all of that in Southeastern McNeese. Yeah, they're definitely gonna be the powerhouse in this.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's and that's just talking about Louisiana. Like when we get to Texas, those thousands of schools and halves and half nots. When we talk about like a Wyoming, that like aren't gonna basically get a lot of people coming out there for anything worth a damn.
Yeah.
Like, hey, are they going to be able to keep their team? It's going to be wild to see. I just can't wait to see it. But this might be where we're going to get closer to an actual college football league, which would be interesting too. But it also might push it to where the restructuring of college football, where anybody has a chance, is going to be like y'all 30 teams gonna have a chance. Everybody else, we'll see. We'll do like promotion and relegation like they have with Premier League and all that, like
Yeah.
Champions League. That actually would be interesting. Have a
That would.
Champions League college football.
That would be interesting. That would be very
Actually, yeah. Let's do that. Let's work that. So conferences, and then we have a Champions League, which I think that's what they're trying to do anyway too.
Rob said, you know what? That might work out. That might work out. That might
I
work
like
out.
that. I like that.
Yeah. We're just gonna switch gears a little bit on you guys and give y'all a little pump vacation. Um, so this is something that we want to engage with you guys that watch. So, what move do you use whenever you breaking down your shadow defender? And I know some of y'all are like, "What are these dudes talking about?" But you know, uh, you hit your little on the person. He ain't there, but he's your shadow defender, and you giving him the business out you. What is your go-to move, Rob? What move do you use?
So me here, I'm like this. Like I like I'm a very much a Euro stepper. So like when I'm like lining up with my shadow defenders right here. Like let's say, hey you, look at me. Look, you facing me right now. All right. So like when I got you, I'm like boom, boom, and like I'm just hitting that shit like right on, like boom, boom, boom. Like I'm really getting it, and then boom, I'm laying that bitch up. Like I'm like boom, boom, and then like just something that's gonna basically get you off your rhythm, and then basically just lay that reverse that bitch. Like that's what I do to you, whenever I am, in my mode, in my zone. So that's I want like what do you do, Nate? Like what's
Okay,
what's your move?
so me personally, I
Yeah.
catch it. I call for it like Shaq turn five, bam, throw me the ball in the
Uh,
post. I catch it. I hit you with the shoulders, and then sometimes I either throw the little baby hook over the top of you, or
oh,
I hit you with the left shoulder, face, and I gotta
mm,
yell Kobe when I do it. Just hit you with it,
yeah.
and it's nothing but net
That's customs.
every time when I do this. See, like it is unblockable. I'm gonna hit you with the dream shake. You off balance, and then I gotta hit you with the Mamba, the Michael Jordan, just the little quick fade, in your face. You like, damn, I had my hand up. I thought I was gonna stop him. He netted.
Nothing you
He
can do
he
about it.
got me, bro. There's nothing I can do about it, and it's like nothing you can do. Now every now and then, bro, I'm known to face you up like KG and give you a little jab step, little quick two dribble, and
Okay.
just hit the jump on you real quick. That's usually my go-to right there. But we don't want to know what your guys' go-tos are. We want to know what
Tell
moves
us.
y'all use. Yeah, yeah. Tell us what y'all do. We're very curious. We just had to hit y'all with the love subject topic. But we want to know what you guys do. We definitely
Yeah.
want to know what you
So
guys
sound
do.
off, sound off on Bromigo. Catch us at Twitter. I ain't calling that shit X. Catch us at Twitter, Bramigos Pod. Catch us on TikTok. Catch us in YouTube.
Yep,
Sound off in the YouTube comments.
in the
Like, tell us
YouTube
what y'all
comments.
do. Like, y'all can even send a video. I think. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know if
want to
y'all
say I
can,
want to
but
say y'all
try it
can
out. Figure it out. Add
reply
us.
in the comments. Add us. Definitely add us. We want to know. But me and Rob touched upon this, and we're probably about to go in on this. So there's a certain coach in Miami. We feel well. He's not a coach anymore. He's a
Right. Former
GM,
coach.
former coach
Yep.
that needs to attest for his sins. And we're gonna kind of blame him for the Big Three era.
Yep.
So, Rob, I'm gonna let you go ahead and call that man's name out so you know exactly who we talking about.
This is Slick Hair himself. Mr. Armani Suits himself, Mr. Heat Nation, Heat Culture himself, Mr. Put his rings out on the table and slap them down himself. Patrick Riley.
Mm.
Sir, I have a bone to pick with you. You want to know what the bone I had to pick with you? You have set expectations too fucking high, and people are mimicking your action. This is like 90. This is like 80s to 90s hip hop are a gouge on this nation, sir. Because you want to know what you did? You want to know what you did, sir?
Let him know.
You took three guys in their prime: Brian James, Chris Bosh, Wayne Wade. You had a roster full of nothing. Like you had like two guys on the roster. You added those three gentlemen and other stuff. Carlos Arroyos, the Eric Dampiers, the Joel Anthonys, the later on Shane Battiers.
The
You
Mike
put
Millers.
all that together. Mike Miller, that was another one. Birdman,
Yep,
put
Birdman.
all those together and you made a nice team. And you know what people did? They saw that and they were like, I can make that happen too. But you know what they also did? Not know how to fucking do it. And I blame you for that
Mm.
because you were the marker. You were the guy that made that happen. They got it from you, Dad. You were the one that basically was the guy to show them the way of how to create a team. And then they did it. And then that's how you get what's happening in Phoenix. That's how you got what was happening in Brooklyn. That's what you got what was happening in Philly a little bit. But that's what you got that was happening in a lot of different places. Everybody wanted a big three because everybody thought they could just make a big. And just like what people talk about with George Bush, no children left behind, you will pay for your crimes, sir. You will pay what you owe for your crimes because what you did was you gave confidence to morons. I'm just kidding. But some people were dumb about it. But you basically said, you can make this. Here's the blueprint, here's the formula. I'll just rip some of these pages off, but you can do this. And everybody thought they could do it. And in a copycat league, they did. And it ain't working. That's why you got Phoenix that is in the hole of holes right now because they can't move Bradley Beal. They should move KD like we talked about, and they basically there's inklings that could be moved to the Knicks, and that's because of you, because you were like, hey, get three and then do everything else, and they did, and they followed your lead to hell. They just basically in the salary cap hell, really,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just straight up scourge. Like you, sir, will pay for the crimes you have committed to NBA transactions. You need to pay for those crimes for what you did, sir. Sir.
The big three era is just something. I gotta say this right. I feel like the big three era is one of those things where I feel like it puts so much weight on them focusing on three people, thinking that these three guys are gonna drive this team for me. And even in some ways, if you were the Clippers, hell, the Clippers would say this basically have 3.5, 4 with Russell. They were like, oh, Westbrook's still really good. You got James, you got PG, you got Kawhi, who's hurt like 45% of the season all the time right now. And I feel like you're taking away from teams that you want to make this powerhouse, and it's not working. It's just not working at all. It just refuses to work for anybody. Yeah, but it's one of those things, bro. Where I'm telling you, Rob. So I look at some of the big threes. Phoenix is a disaster. It's a disaster. What the Clippers had, I thought that it could possibly work if Kawhi was healthy, but he's never healthy.
Yeah. Well,
Kawhi,
actually, this year he was pretty healthy.
Yeah, but
comparatively.
we need him playoff time though. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
him playoff time, and he's not playoff ready right now. Kawhi is not. Kawhi is one of those guys. He's like, I'm not gonna say he is Ben Simmons ish, you know, like he really is. I don't care what anybody says about it. You can say, oh, he got a ring. Yeah, he got a ring, but when is the last time you got to see Kawhi play? I think Kawhi has missed like 37 or 47% of like the time since he's been at the Clippers. He's just not there. But he's made a shit ton of money. He's made a shit ton of money. Your knees may not be healthy now, but whenever you decide to retire, you've made a healthy haul. You've definitely made that money. And that's why I think the Clippers may blow that ship kind of up now because of that. But the big three era needs to kind of stop. They need to stop it. And if you have something good, I feel like it's like a recipe that's good. Instead of adding all of the crap you know is good and you just think it fits in here, add a little bit of spice at a time. You know, feel this out over time versus I'm gonna just throw steak and lobster and all of that shit on a plate and you gonna eat and it's gonna be great and it's gonna be the meal of all meals and it don't be the meal of all meals. And like Rob said, we do blame you, Pat Rob. You people could try to
You.
say, oh, it was Mike. No, Mike was drafted, Scotty was drafted, they added Dennis, yes, but it wasn't this huge move like Miami did, or this shit that Phoenix did. Which Bradley Bill, I got a bone to pick with you too. Don't think that you
Mm.
unscathed from this
Oh,
because you are the biggest culprit in Phoenix for not producing because you were like a walking 20 something points in Washington, which I know you like, oh, I'm second, third option now. But you were no option come playoff time. You weren't relevant to anything. And I still stick by what I said, Phoenix. Miles Turner was the move. 3-point shot blocking big man that can spread the floor and rebound. And you went and got Avery Bradley. I still don't see how we ended up there. Thinking it
yeah, I
just
don't either.
it just quit thinking I'm gonna get 3 extra large Snickers and this shit is gonna feed everybody. It's not happening. You're not Jesus with the bread with it, okay? You're not breaking bread and feeding hundreds and all of this stuff. It is not happening like that, bro. Just let that go. And I promise you, the minute that you guys learn to let Big Three era grow, go and just do it au naturel. Try to grow it like Miami, Boston, places like that. Go play draft pick lottery, trade away a bunch of stuff. Get this and get the future going. Don't do what Miami did. It doesn't work out like that. And for some people who will say, but Golden State added KD, they added just KD. They had the other 3 pieces there. They had already won before KD got there. And they just added on more and got better. And with that being said, talking about Golden State and people who win the finals, who do you guys think are going to win the finals? I'm
Yep.
going to tell you right now, me and Rob, we're saying Boston should win this. Keyword should. Boston should win these NBA finals. Rob, you know what I noticed happened for Boston this year?
What up?
And you being a Golden State fan, I know you remember this. You remember the year they won and every major guard that was in that could have been competitive with Steph went down, including Kyrie in the finals?
Yep.
Everybody has went the fuck down on the East Coast that could have gave Boston problems. Knicks no Julius Randle. Bucks, Giannis goes, and Dame goes. Just Philadelphia, not in it. down, gone. The people who could have gave them trouble, non-existent this season. It has been just walk on through. Okay? And then Boston has had great performances. Derek White had a game where he goes crazy from three. You had Jaylen Brown with 40-point games. Hell, the other night, I want to say that was game one. Al Horford hit like 3, 4 threes, which God knows he hits threes in spurts and then don't see it again for weeks and weeks at a time. You've had those type of performances go for them, and they're going. And this should be their walk. But I'm going to also say this. Me and you said this. Dallas may upset everyone. I think it's possible, bro. I think it's possible. Like
The good Dallas team.
that Dallas team is just so deadly, bro. They are running at peak performance. That is the picture of a well-oiled machine in Dallas, bro. I know Mark Cuban is smiling ear to ear. He is grinning his ass off. I picked up Kyrie. He. I got the wizard with the basketball, and then I got the European wizard with the basketball that steps in slow motion. I got a man he can throw lobs. I got guys that knock down shots and play defense. And he didn't break the bank. There is no big three. He didn't break the bank. This team is similar to the team that he had whenever they won it before with Jason Kidd and JJ Barea and Dirk and all of them. This is the same type of team. So big three era, suck it. It's literally, yeah. It literally shows you that this is what can happen whenever you have a star that knows what the hell to do, and you have a closer like Kyrie, someone who I guarantee if Kyrie played basketball in the 50s with his current skill set, they'd call him a wizard and say that he was doing something with the basketball that was unholy.
A witch.
Yeah, he'd definitely be a witch. But Dallas may upset these people. Like, what do you think are the chances of Dallas upsetting these guys?
I think they're very good because like this Dallas team is really fucking playing. And granted, like I didn't think they'd be up. I didn't think Mavericks would be up 2-0 on the Wolves. I thought with how the Wolves had been playing, with what they had with them going against Denver, like I didn't think that it would be zero. Like, I didn't think that they would basically have nothing coming from home. But this Dallas team has been putting a lot of teams and really been going aggressive at a lot of teams right now. And like you said, Boston, whether you're talking about Cleveland, they basically didn't have like Cleveland didn't have Donovan Mitchell for most of that series. Pacers won't have Tyrese at least for they didn't have Tyrese last game in game 3. May not have him for game 4. Like they have cakewalk through through the path through the playoffs, and you can't really say much different. Like they have basically moonwalked through, but even though they moonwalked through, it hasn't looked like a moonwalk. They've been struggling. Like these games have been close.
And
They haven't
that's
been
what
blowouts.
makes me so nervous for him, Rob. Rob, you
I
can't
understand.
you can't go. So I'm gonna use this. There are days because you have my little nieces and nephew, my little niece and nephew over there. There are days where I know those kids are out of hand, but then there's that day, that special day where they wake up, they listen to everything, they eat what they're supposed to eat. They don't give you no trouble. We get dressed on time. We go to school on time. We come back home. There's that perfect day in a sense. But here's the problem with the perfect day with Boston. It's like nothing is going perfect. It's just the right things are happening that's letting them scoop through this day. It's like I would have failed my test, but I got one more question right than would have needed, and I passed. I
Right.
almost hit somebody, but a swerve and got out the way and went off the road and didn't damage the car. Everything that's happening is it's the good thing, but it's not happening the right way. And Boston fans, I'm saying this from my heart because I know it's one particular person that watches this, and I'm speaking to you directly. I know that you love this team and that you want them to win, but I feel that everything that can go right along the way can go bad whenever we get to the destination. And the destination is the NBA Finals. And just how they lost the Golden State, and people were like, they're gonna stick Brown on Steph and he's gonna lock him up, and Steph went crazy. It's everything that could go right along the way will go wrong once we get there. My hotel ain't booked right. They gave me the wrong room. The food didn't went bad. I done got 2 flat tires. The engine is overheating. One of the windows cracked. Everything can go wrong once you get there. And it's only because the journey went so perfect. And I feel like they're like a cat with 9 lives right now. And they using them bitches up on the way. You don't get, and it's like I said, Golden State had that run where every guard possible in Steph's way went down. And I remember thinking, this is at the time, I remember thinking this was a one-off championship that Golden State was going to win because everything went right. And then they wind up winning more in the future. And it solidified the team and it gave them a dynasty, even though they added KD at one point. And it showed how good they were, even after that one off. And I feel like that's what's happening with Boston. But I think Boston needs to win this. Because I'm gonna be honest. Told you before the show. I think Michael Porter Jr. is traded from Denver. I don't see him being there. I think Denver's GM is gonna make the moves and he's gonna bring in people that's gonna help. And it wouldn't surprise me. And I thought about this. I thought hard about this. Last night, you know how Michael Porter Jr. is a lengthy defender who can kind of shoot, right? Don't be surprised if Denver goes to try to get somebody like DeMar DeRozan, a guy who's a lengthy defender that can get his own shot and help out with everybody else. Okay? Don't be surprised if they try to make moves for people like that. I'm not gonna necessarily say Andrew Wiggins, but I feel more so that they're gonna lean towards a veteran, a guy who's proven he got some years, he's gotten paid money, and talk with him and say, hey man, come here and win this chip with Jokic and Murray. Defend, we gonna put some more stuff around y'all, and we gonna make a run back and knock Minnesota off. Okay?
And he's a free agent.
And I'm telling you, I've been thinking about some of these guys. This could be a move. And some of y'all gonna say, oh, you tripping, bro. Think about it. It's guys who don't have a ring and they could get it. Remember, DeMar got taken from that Toronto team. They traded for Kawhi. His best friend, Kyle Lowry, wins a ring with Toronto. Okay, the team who drafted him. Wouldn't it be fitting if DeMar went somewhere like Denver, got his ring, get him a little bit more money, he may get a shot at 2 of them, and say, you know what, Kyle? I got mine too. Wynn did it with one of the guys who's gonna be labeled the best big man in history. And I know some people may not think about it, but I think Jamal Murray still has a ton of upside. I think he's gonna be one of those dudes that he's not gonna get a lot of credit like Adrian Dantley, and he's gonna be a prolific scorer. We're just not gonna talk about him like that. You know?
Yep.
So I think that's where his career is gonna be. He's a champion and stuff. Some people gonna undermine him and say, "Oh, that was Jokic's team," but Jamal was there. Jamal helped get the job done. It's just like whenever Detroit got rid of Adrian Dantley, but they got the pieces to win. I think this is Adrian Dantley already getting a championship while he's young and capitalizing on this situation. But all in all, if Dallas upsets Boston in this finals, because I'm feeling. Did you see the just for the people at home? Did y'all see that shot Luca put on Rudy Gobert big ass? Did you see this? Let me tell you something.
Taking like a hooker in church.
Like a hooker in church. Did you know what that reminded me of, bro? Do you remember whenever Kemba Walker and UConn made their run and he crossed up that big man to win the game? And he went out there and he put the
Mhm.
bounce back and had that man falling in the paint and sprayed that shot and won. That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That's what he reminded me of. And Rudy, I would have went home. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Rob. I'd have went home and I'd have seen them fucking defensive trophy of the years up on my man. I'd have smacked all them shits up off of there. I'd have been hot. I'd have get this shit up off my goddamn mantle. I'd be out here looking like a fool because defensive player of the year was supposed to be your thing. You supposed to be the guy, and you went out here and and got boo bopped out and got sprayed in the end.
Which it's like part of me think it's like this is a tangent. And this is something I had thought about the other day. It feels like Rudy Gobert got defensive player of the year because of a very specific thing that he can do. Not I'm just the best defender in the league. It's I'm the best defender within these boundaries. Like paint. I am the best. I change you up. I have to change what you do. If you pull me out of the paint, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. But I am the best defender in the paint. Period. It kind of reminds me of like football because football is defensive player of the year is not you don't get a pass rusher defensive player of the year. You don't get a D-tack interior lineman. You don't get a linebacker, a corner defensive player of the year. It's just all combined. But you're not like if you're a corner getting deploy, it's because you basically had a lot of interceptions. If you were basically an edge rusher, because you had a lot of sacks. Linebacker, you controlled the game
Yeah.
in different facets. But like with his defensive player of the year, it's like basically he got defensive player of the year because he was the best pass rusher in the league. When in basketball, you got to be more than that. And granted, Luka's a motherfucker, but it's like he did not. It's like everybody's like, man, like he's defensive player of the year for that. It's like, yeah, it's the weirdest fucking thing too. Like the fact that he's the defensive player of the year and he's basically getting mollywopped by a lot of cats. I just saw an alert that basically got dunked on by Lively. Like, dog, it's very strange.
This is not a knock of me going against you because you made the NBA, bro. You did something that thousands of people have tried but didn't do. Rudy, you are with the best help side defender. People are guarding the man, and you come over and get help side blocks. You're not a one-on-one defender. You don't. Whenever Shaq said he put 40 on you, I believe it because you
But
get
that's just
beat.
yeah,
Yeah, but he gets beat one-on-one though. He gets beat
yeah.
one-on-one. He's not shutting dudes down like that. That's why whenever they were like, "Oh, he did this," look, y'all had Cat on Jokic and you on Jokic at times. Y'all both had to help to stop Jokic. Okay, we're literally talking. Denver was a 6 man away from going back to the Western Conference Finals. If they have a combined of 10 more points from them people who put 21, it's game over and Denver goes back to the Western Conference Finals. Rudy is not he is look, Rudy is not over there shutting down his paint left and right like people think. He get dunked on. He just got his shoes blew off that last game. Luka even said it. Luka said, I ain't that fast, but I'm faster than him, okay? You, if I was Rudy, I might have smacked the TV that night. Cause not only did he make a fool of me and all of my Defensive Player of the Year trophies, that man got on TV and said, I know I'm not that fast, but I'm faster than him. And you tried your best, and Lucas said, Kobe, and ended the game. And Minnesota, how the hell y'all let him get left out there on that island? I don't know if that was McDaniels who was supposed to be switching with him, or who. I think that was McDaniels got the screen, got screen and got switched. Damn it, you supposed to jump that. You supposed to jump that before you ever let Rudy get caught out there again. Because that was unexcusable. That was unexcusable to let him get caught out there in jade like that. I had flashes of Kimball Walker all over again, and I said, man. And then whenever he did his interview, Rob, and he said, nah, yeah, I'm not that fast. I'm faster than him, though. And Shaq and them bust out laughing. I said, Rudy. I'd have been smacking TV. Wouldn't have been no inside the NBA on anything in my house. If I'd have heard you on a phone, I'd have threw that shit outside and I'd have get this up on my home. I don't want to hear this. Because it's unexcusable. In NBA, I've said this before, and I want to say we said this a couple episodes ago. This shit of some of these reporters reporting that this person is defensive player of the year, that shit need to go, bro. Cause I feel like some of these reporters play politics with who they like and who they don't like, and this is how some of these dudes get these votes. It could have been Drew Holiday, could have got defensive player of the year. I'd have been fine with that. That's why I kind of thought might win defensive player of the year. Not Rudy. Not Rudy. Rudy has one aspect of defense. Shot blocking from the weak side. Cool. It's a very good talent. He has to time up blocks. But he is not shutting nobody down. And I know Charles Barkley would like to say shit that egg Shaq on. Shaq knew. Barbecue chicken. They would have turned 5. Phil would have went to Rudy. Well, Phil would have went 1-on-1 with Shaq going against Rudy, and Shaq would have probably had 20 at halftime with 10, 12 boards, or maybe even 30. He would have probably been going for 60. And Rudy would have been fouled out on the sideline, and Shaq would have been pointing to him as he went down the court. This would have been over with. So don't ever put that out there. Oh, Rudy could guard. No, Rudy couldn't guard Shaq. Rudy couldn't guard Shaq. But that's enough of me ranting on that. So, one quick note that I have to go on is the curious tale of Kyrie Irving. So, people tried to cancel this man. The world is flat. He don't need to be this. He fasting for Ramadan. That y'all all up in this man business. He done left LeBron James. He done went to Kevin Durant. They ain't no good together. He'll never sniff a finals ever again, and all this other stuff. He had messed it up in Boston and everything else. So, what do all of you assholes have to say now? Just what do you have to say now? Just I want to hear you now. Y'all all had your opinions out there. Y'all were talking down bad on this man. Y'all were trying to use any chance that y'all could get cancel him. Oh man, Kyrie's such an ignorant person, and he doesn't know this and he doesn't know that. And then he's fasting Ramadan, and then what does he know about this and all of this other stuff? And now he's sniffing the finals that y'all said that he would never sniff again. While the person who y'all said that he whenever he left him that he'd never sniff another one, he's sniffing it, and that person is in Cancun probably with his wife and kids and doing whatever else. He's probably trying to regrow his hairline again. He's getting that read up, right now. Because he don't like to wear headbands no more. But where are you people now? And I love to see Kyrie flourish. I don't know about you, Rob. I love the wizard, the basketball.
So I get it. I mean, okay, so Kyrie did get what he deserved. When I say this, I'll say it in okay. Kyrie tried to do things in a way that was unnecessary. And I
True.
and I do think that it's like I don't think okay, so like the earth is flat stuff. I did not think that he was serious.
Me either.
I thought he was joking, and I thought that he was just trolling. And I think that to an extent he probably was.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to like the other things, like him being basically, anti-Semite or whatever. I don't know how serious he was with it, but it also was like there was no reason to do it.
Yeah.
Because he basically it basically kind of fucked up any kind of goodwill because you're the guy that basically shared something. And even though people were like, well, he didn't know, it's like, well, why didn't he know? He was just sharing this very obscure video that basically did not need to be shared. Nobody would have known about it if he never just
True.
posted it.
True.
And was his stuff that bad? In the grand scheme of things, sure. But it was one of those things that was just unnecessary. It's an unforced error. Now, where I am with Kyrie, I'm always gonna be for a black man basically prosper. So, Kyrie, to your point, to what basically I think people made the point of you what posting that video was the prosperation of black people. Which I mean, word, but the prospering of black people, yes, man, I'm with you. When I'm with you in everything that you do. So I like that he's basically winning. I'm not somebody that turned against him. I didn't like what he did, but I'm
Yeah.
not somebody who was like, fuck you, Kyrie, forever. And I'm glad to see him doing it, even with Luca. Like the thing with Luca, like I'm happy for basically them. I'm happy for the Mavericks doing their thing. Like they got a well-oiled team, and this is the chance. I'm very much looking forward to Boston versus the Mavericks because even though the both series haven't ended yet, and I mean Minnesota could always come back.
True.
It's still to the point of like, yeah, this is going to be a very great series because Kyrie is arguably the best offensive player in the league the last 50, like the last, this century at least, and arguably the last forever. So like, nah, man, I'm happy for dude, and I'm happy that they're basically doing it. And yeah, he's done it. He's gone through the mud. He's gone through everything, and he's here.
Kyrie is Albus Dumbledore with a basketball in his hand. I promise you. He is Albus Dumbledore with a basketball in his hand. He hits shots that you don't believe he's gonna hit. And he hit one the other night, and I look, and you know what part of me wanted to say? You know that meme of Leo whistling when he's pointing at the TV? I wanted to say go grab that
Mhm.
basketball and check it out and make sure it's regulated. Yeah. Go out there and go check that one real quick. I gotta make sure that just make sure. I'd have been out there bouncing instead of what you doing? I'm just making sure this one is real. Y'all might have
Yeah, yeah.
CG'd that one on me. Y'all might have decided to CG me one in the middle of the NBA game, and I don't know. But I am happy to see him prosper. Now, as we kind of round out the show, um, Angel Reese took, a little bit of a choke slam in the WNBA, but the women, they getting physical. And I like the draw. I like watching them get out there and get physical in the WNBA, showing that they got some fight. That they may only be around a few months a year, but they're here to stay. They're here to make it happen. Also, shout out Caitlin Clark. She got a win finally. On which I personally believe is probably the worst NBA, well WNBA team out there right now for sure.
Oh, it is. Everybody said like, yeah, it is. They are. They're bad.
Yeah, it's bad in Indiana. It's bad. It is horrible. Indiana, y'all gotta fix that. Y'all have to just look. I don't think I've seen. I'm not gonna say that they're lazy, but I don't think I've seen a more ragtag bunch of people outside of the Bad News Bears, bro. It's the only other group, bro. That's the only other group.
Oh.
I'm telling you. I watched the Fever game and I'm looking at chicks like they getting their Marshawn Lynch on, like, I'm just out here so I don't get fined, coach. I'm like, come on, bro.
Probably.
Just play. Look, Caitlin, you gonna have to work the lazy out of them like Michael Jordan beat the cocaine out of them in the 80s. you gonna have to put your work in and get this done. Because I don't know if you think you're going to bring Indiana a championship as of now. But let's push that one out in the future. A little ways. Little ways down the road. Little ways down. We're gonna push that out there. And hope that maybe they get there one day. And y'all getting the championship, I feel like Rob's son is also going to be a first-round draft pick running back. Just throwing that good one out there, you know? But you all know we're here, Brahmigos Podcast. We just wanted to come in and give you guys a little bit. Like, subscribe, tell your people about us. Tweet at us, because like Rob said, I'm not about to call that shit X. I'm not. I refuse to. TikTok, YouTube, share. Just come through, you know? Engage with us in the comment section. Anything you like to hear us talk about, anything you like to hear us just give us our opinion on. And don't forget your basketball shadow move. Don't forget what move you get at shadow. If you get that shadow defender the meanest hezzy, just you gotta let us know. But
tell me something good.
Oh yeah, tell us something. Tell us something good. But Rob, let's go ahead and get up out of here. Go ahead and take us out, Rob.
Good night, Canada. Good night, Taylor Swift. Guys, if you are looking for an energy drink, look no further than W Energy. Get yourself a dub by grabbing a W. Get 10% off when you use Brahmigos Pod as your promo code.
Yeah.
That is Brahmigos Pod. You see it everywhere around here.
Yep.
Brahmigos Pod. Get 10% off your W Energy. Get it. Get it. Love it. So damn good.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm with it.
And don't forget to use some W. And that's us. We're out. Peace.
Happy Memorial Day. It's the bad Memorial Day. Sad Memorial Day. But Memorial Day nonetheless.
Memorial Day nonetheless. We out.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Brahmigos Podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.